on opening night win and being able to grit one out at the end?
Yeah, it was a fun game. I guess if you look at it from an entertainment standpoint, but blood pressure wise, not so much. A couple different lead changes there. And just when you think we kind of have them on the ropes, they battled back and put up a 4-spot, took the lead. But our guys were resilient and battled back. A lot of great performances tonight. A lot of things we got to work on too. But end of the day, huge win for us just to kind of get off and rolling and get a W under our belt. And in that fashion too. It was obviously an exciting game down to the last pitch. So good W.
You guys split the series with Ohio State last year. How valuable is it to have hands-on experience with both their lineup and their pitching staff?
Well, I think we did see Wink last year out of the bullpen a couple times, but he's a different guy than he was last year. Kid's got a nice arm and throwing it up there in the mid-90s and has good stuff. Didn't have great feel that he usually does. He's usually a strike thrower and pounds the zone. He was a little bit erratic, but you can tell the stuff's there and it's electric. So we had our hands full, but we were able to put a few good swings on it and on him and come up with some runs. Shaw kid he shut us down there for a while until I think the turning point of that game was Kyle Walker's at bat off of him to lead off. What was that, the seventh? I don't know how many pitches it was, 11, 12 pitch at bat. After that kid had been cruising, to come up with that big AB and just kind of spark a rally right there, it was, we were dead to rights until that, really. But he came up big and got us going, and we were able to come back, take the lead, and finish it off. So good all-around win, I guess. At the end of the day, we'll take it.
What was going through your head in that delay at the end?
Well, we were discussing. We were thinking they were going to confirm the targeting call on that one. I've never seen that before, and hey, I guess you'd never get too comfortable. I thought he made the right call on the field. It looked like he was out by 6-8 inches, and from my point of view, but they wanted to make sure they got it right because the game was on the line, and I think they owed it to them, even though I don't know what the rule is. I'd have to look at it, but I think it's if there's malfunction, I think the call on the field is supposed to stand. But I've never seen umpires go up in the press box before. But they got the call right, so that's what matters.
You talked yesterday about how big of a factor in the strength this experienced team was, and what that. How big do you think that was when they fell behind and able to make that comeback?
Well, I think it's when you have a look at the guys that showed up and had great games. They're seniors, Jacob Tobias, 3-run homer. Josiah Cromwick, 5th-year senior with a homer and big double there. Kyle Walker, an experienced player that has been around the block and played a lot of games. Those guys came up big and had big games. So that's just from the offensive standpoint, of course. But to have those, a veteran-oriented team that understands that this is college baseball, man. There's no easy games. You are going to be in a dogfight every night. And to battle, you're gonna get punched in the mouth a time or two, and you're gonna have to respond to it. So that's what we try to preach to these guys. That it's not always gonna be pretty, but you go out and battle and fight tooth and nail, and the results will happen based upon that. And never give in when things don't go your way. Keep positive and keep going. So I was proud of those guys for the way they responded tonight.
Coach, you talked about how it was a battle at the catcher position that Josiah Cromwick ultimately won to start on opening night. What did you make of his offensive performance, but also with the pitching staff as a whole?
I think he did caught a great game. There were some good pitches that I think he did a good job receiving that may or may not have gotten the call. We'll have to go watch those later on, but just from what I could tell, he was very smooth behind the plate from a defensive standpoint. And then offensively, that's what he's been doing all fall and all spring. So hopefully that continues.
8 out of the 11 hits you guys gave up today were with 2 strikes. Why do you think that is, and what do you guys need to do to put more hitters away?
I nothing. That team just scraps. And they did the same thing to us last year. They get 2 strikes and they battle, and they foul pitches off and they're pests, right? And that's tough to put those guys away. And it really is credit to their coaching staff and how they preach it and teach it over there. They just they got some veteran players too. They aren't going to roll over and die. They got some guys that are returning that have chose to stay there and and grind it out at Ohio State, and they're guys that just really are tough outs. You know, they physically most talented, not necessarily, but just guys that'll fight you tooth and nail, and you know, we got to work it out for them with them. They're going to keep doing it. So how we put them away, I mean, get ahead and just keep trying to expand when we can, but they don't chase out of the zone very often either. So you know, I don't know how many guys we walked today. 5. I don't think we walked 5 guys in the last 3 weeks of the fall. Like our guys haven't been walking guys at all, but that's just a tribute to how they shrink the zone and know their strike zone awareness is pretty good. So we'll just keep attacking, and good things will happen as long as you keep attacking the zone.
Coach, have you seen a power surge like Josiah's over the last 3 or 4 months in the fall and spring? And what do you think were some of the reasons that did come on for him?
You know, he had a nice fall last year too, but injuries kind of hurt him throughout the year, and he didn't get off to a great start. And then, you know, we had a kid named Ryan Campos that was pretty good back there that didn't give up a whole lot of playing time to anybody else. So it was kind of a tough year for Crom last year that didn't get the playing time he wanted. But when he was able to get another year of eligibility from his freshman year back at Oregon, he was stoked to come back and couldn't wait to come back, and he's like, Coach, I'm going to come win the job and I'm going to play. So it's up for you, man. You go do it, and you win it, it's yours. So I don't promise anything. You guys earn it, and the kids earned it. So his battle stay in the lineup. I just got to make sure we keep him healthy. That's kind of the main thing for me, is keeping his arm healthy and keeping his bat swinging the way it is.
Saw you talking with Merrill Kelly before the game. Him being an ASU alum, you being an ASU alum, you being a Diamondback formulae as well. What did it mean to have him in the house tonight and set the tone for the year with the first pitch of the season?
Well, he bounced it, so. But no, having Merrill Kelly he's a true pro. He's a Sun Devil through and through. Having guys like him around the program, or that's what this place is built upon. You know, we have a long list of guys and alums that are huge names that have been very instrumental in not only building this program, but have gone on and done some phenomenal things in their professional career. And we need those guys back around. We want to welcome those guys back here and get them back around and just talk to our guys, right? And share their experiences of how special this place is, and then ultimately what this place does to prepare you for the long haul, hopefully, in professional baseball. So pumped to have him back. He just had a son 7 weeks ago as well. So for him to take the time away from family and come out and do this and be a part of opening night, it was very special for all of us.
Also saw you talking to Pat before the game. You know, what was that moment like for you?
He's the best. Love Murph. He's second father to me. Always has been. I get excited when he gets around. I don't know. He just breathes confidence into people. He knows how to do it. He's the best. Like, I don't know how else to put it. He just makes me feel like I'm still playing, and I'm like, gosh, give me a bat. I'm gonna go out and play. I don't know. He just has that way of pushing my buttons to just make me feel that I'm way better than I am at a lot of different things. So I think that's called coaching. He's pretty good at it. So I just pumped that he came around today. Great to see him. Kai got his degree. Came back, and his son got his degree last month. Came back and got his degree. So he was pumped about that. I was excited to hear that he came back and finished it while he was playing professional baseball. That's just a tribute to how he's been raised and what kind of father and man that Coach Murph is. So love having him around here.
Ben obviously had a bit of a rocky start to his season, but the bullpen really took over from there. Jonah Giblin, Lucas Kelly, Braden Barnes, Will Cover, they all really stepped up in a tight game. What did you make of the tenacity of this pitching staff first game of the season?
You know, I think just getting that first one out of the way is big, and I think, you know, Benny will learn from this and get better. You know, we had a few first inning jitters there and got 2 quick outs, and then squeezed it a little bit and gave up a walk and a couple of hits, I think, there in the first. But he'll settle in. I'm not worried about Benny. He's going to be just fine. But having those other guys come in tough situations and be successful, it's big, right? Just a confidence builder for a lot of those guys to get in the game. Braden Barnes, how about that, right? A kid that came in and picks a guy off and gets an out, and really, and that kid he was going. He was going to steal for sure, and for him to come in and keep composure and pick a guy off right there and then get the next guy out in a tough situation. We're going to need him. You know, we need those left-handed arms to step up big for us.
He was just in here talking about his transition from freshman year over the summer and then into this year. What have you seen transition-wise from his last pitch, last collegiate season to tonight?
Braden, you're talking
Yeah.
about? You know, it's the biggest growth year is that freshman to sophomore year, and some guys really make a quantum leap, and I think you know, last year the lights were really bright for him, and he's, I think, had a chance to kind of stew on that and really you know, change the mindset and change the mentality, and he's come back a confident, ready to go, give me the ball type kid, and he's had a very, very good fall, very good spring. You know, he's going to be valuable moving down the road. I think he's got a chance to really solidify himself as one of our go-to lefties out there, and you know, he's capable of starting too. He just his all around has made a big jump, mentality-wise and stuff-wise, and pounding the zone, all that type of stuff is just taking a nice step forward.
Coach
Coach,
Jacob
I know you
Tobias,
said
the
you-
home run in his first home run, or his first at bat of the season. How inspired is he after not maybe getting drafted last offseason coming into this season?
Oh, I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder. So, you know, I said it on the radio or the TV broadcast. They asked me about it, and I just said, man, it's lucky for us. I mean, we got not only a phenomenal young man, but you know, I got my 4-hole hitter back who had 18 homers and 64 RBIs last year and didn't get drafted. I don't know why. The kid just flat out hits. May not be the prettiest, you know, swing in the world or, you know, the most athletic guy, but the kid just finds ways to get hits, and I'll plug him in my 4-hole again. And so he, to have him come back, you know, we talked about it when he didn't get drafted. It's like, hey man, you get a chance to come back and make one more run at this thing, and let's do something special together and lead the clubhouse, lead this place. And he's taken it head on and done a great job with it. And you know, it's not just him. He's helping the younger guys. You know, Landon Hairston talked to him the other day, and he said, "Man, I'd be really lost and sped up without Toby. He just helps me settle down and think through situations." So his leadership around the clubhouse has just been great. Not surprised, but it's been great to have him back.
Coach, you
Coach,
got
your
a
thoughts on News performance obviously tonight. I know back in the lineup, but healthy. But I mean, leading off and just offensive, defensively, what did you see from him tonight?
You know, he's pumped to have him back in the lineup. You know, he'll start getting going. You know, had a hit today in a big situation, and just missed one to right there. He hit it good, but not quite good enough. But just having that kid in the lineup and his presence again, top to bottom, we have veteran guys in that lineup. So that gives me a lot of confidence knowing that they're again going to bounce back, be resilient, do the things we want them to do. But I got a lot of pleasure writing his name in the lineup today, especially first, just because I guess the first name I wrote today when I got to the ballpark, and I was pretty pumped to do it.
Coach, you got a good look at the brand new double play tandem up the middle, and Matt and Kyle. How special is it to watch them do their thing defensively?
Well, I think they played outstanding. You know, in the middle defensively today. They're gonna do some great things, but I think the biggest thing that those two will do is just make consistent routine plays over and over. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, don't forget about Jax Ryan. He's going to be mixing in there a significant amount as well. And I think I feel confident with any of those guys going in there. They work extremely hard. Beckett Zavorik, Camden Bates, all those guys in the middle, just they all work well together. And that's kind of what we teach these guys, is to be able to play both sides of the bag. And you know, make the routine, turn the double play. We're going to be really good at that. We aren't going to make ESPN highlight reel plays, you know, all the time, but we better make the routine and turn the double play. And you know, tonight those two Kyle made a great turn on a ball that wasn't hit very hard to him that really changed the momentum of that inning. So I think Giblin was pitching then, if I remember right, and guy kind of capped it and just cut distance and turned it how it was supposed to be turned. So it's good to see that their hard work's paying off.
Kai showed off his speed first at bat as a Sun Devil, beating out the double play ball. I know Kai McGarry is supposed to be very, very fast. There's a lot of speed on this team. How big a weapon is that going to be for you guys on the bases this year?
It's something we don't want to be one-dimensional. We scored most of our runs tonight via the long ball, but we don't, obviously I'm not going to complain about that, but it's nice to have different layers to your offense and be able to do different things. So having some guys that can run is nice, and we'll start doing that a little bit more. Hopefully, if situations present themselves, having Vu, Contradas, and Kyle Walker, Kai McGarry when he gets in there, those guys can run a little bit. So having that element of our offense will be nice.
Coach, Ben Jacobs threw 87 pitches in 4 innings and over 50 pitches in 2 innings. How do you and your coaching staff expect to manage his workload throughout the season?
Good question. We had we ramped him up properly. I think his last simulator, last inter squad game, he had 75 pitches, so we felt confident getting to 85 today. We went to I think 87 to finish that one last hitter. It's something where he's a strikeout guy. His pitch count's going to be high, and then especially when you got a team that battles like they do, Ohio State with 2 strikes, and they like I said, they're pests. They foul pitches off. They don't give in. So his pitch count got up there a little higher, faster than we wanted it to, but he wanted to go back out there for another inning, but we weren't having it. So it's just he's too valuable in the long run for us, and next outing we'll keep ramping up the pitch count slowly and get him up to where he wants to be.
Ohio State's going to
Last question,
throw Chase Harrell tomorrow. You guys really hit him very well the first time that he threw last year. There's 5 earned runs over basically an inning. Is there anything that you hope to see with this offense tomorrow?
I'd like to see us stay out of the air a little bit more. I mean, we had a lot of fly ball outs. Not sure how many punch outs we had. I think it's like 6. It's not terrible, but I'd like to see us put a lot of pressure on those guys and maybe put the game in motion a little bit more if we can with some base runners and put together rallies. I think that's what I want our offense to be. Again, I'm not going to complain about the long ball, but I like putting the game in motion if we can, and situation presents itself, we'll do that.
Big plays in the game.
Yeah, big moments.
How does it feel to just go out on opening night and get that first one out of the way? It was awesome. Seeing the crowd on a Friday night, first game of the year, and it's my first time here. It was just, man, we went out there and played our hearts out.
Yeah, I agree. It was awesome. I think it was pretty cool to go out there that way and set the tone for the rest of the weekend.
I agree. I think having this win, everyone coming together and being able to see our team together, I thought that was huge.
Cromwick, you delivered 2 go-ahead knocks tonight. What kind of went into keeping your cool in those tense moments?
Just trying to stay as relaxed as possible, stay with my breathing, and just keep it as easy as possible.
How did it feel to hit your first ASU home run?
Really good. Yeah, it was really exciting.
Just you had a huge uptick in power in the fall and the spring, and now I've seen it carry over to the regular season. What were some of those keys that helped you get that power surge?
Our strength coach is awesome. Just working with him, getting stronger. That's been the biggest thing, honestly, just getting stronger in the weight room. He's helped me tremendously.
There wasn't any swing tweaks or anything?
A little bit of swing things. I think it's just simplifying things a little bit, using my legs a little bit more, which Ellie, our hitting coach, has done a little job helping me kind of tone that in a little bit.
Have you guys ever had a finish like that where it had to get delayed before? What was going through your head during that 10-15 minute kind of waiting period?
It was actually kind of fun, just kind of talking to the guy from Ohio State. We were just kind of waiting for the verdict. Didn't know what was going to happen, but we're okay with the result with it. So
I honestly don't think anyone's ever had that ending. I don't think that's ever happened. So
No, yeah,
that's
cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Obviously, opening day is a very emotional day. Lots of ups and downs in this game, lead changes. How did you guys stay mentally locked in through it all?
feeding off each other, really. Just coming from behind, especially when Cromwick hit the 3-1, that was huge. And then they kind of went up, just feeding off each other, making sure we get base runners and try to deliver for each other.
I know yesterday Willie Bloomquist said that one of the strengths of your team is the experience that you guys have and kind of having gone through a lot of the tough times maybe earlier in your guys' careers and stuff like that. I mean, how do you think that played a factor today when you guys were down and maybe able to make that late game comeback?
I think it definitely helps a lot. I feel like for me today, like I felt in the past opening day I've been a little more amped up, a little more nervous, and today I felt a little calmer, and that I think just helped all around the defense.
Was there anything outside going into the bottom of that seventh inning that really rallied 4-3 runs, like to explode like that and regain the lead after losing like that?
Yeah, there's kids at bat. I mean, that we won the game because of that at bat. So that the amount of energy you get from that bat like that is you can't compare anything to it.
Kyle, a few days ago, you talked about how Willie wants you to just make the routine play on defense, but you had 2 pretty spectacular plays in big moments tonight. How did that feel to come up for your team on the defensive side?
Felt really good. Just the moment was really big. I'm watching my pitcher up there doing the best he can and just trying to play instinctual, play the game, and just have fun. And it happened to fall the right way.
Braden, this is kind of a good moment for you in your careers thus far with ASU. What did this moment kind of mean to you tonight to come into a situation like that and execute?
It meant a lot. I know last season I struggled, but coming into like the game right there, like being surrounded by my teammates like Kyle and Crom, it was huge. And knowing like they had my back, I thought that was one of the big reasons for my success.
What's the tone you hope this tonight sets for the rest of your season?
I think it's just shows us it's just the start. I think we understand like now we go from here.
Josiah, what's it like to have a guy like Kyle hitting 9th in the lineup, be able to flip the order back around?
I mean, it's pretty insane that he's our 9-hole. I mean, he'd be 1, 2, 3 in just about almost any program. So it's pretty awesome.
Kyle, your speed was on full display there right off the bat, first at bat with a fielder's choice. What do you hope that brings to the team? Seems like a very aggressive base running group.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just situations like you saw with Toby's little dribbler right there and score key and boot. I think that's just big moments like that where my speed will come and play, just like other guys on the team.
Braden, I saw you were pretty fired up after your outing. What was just your emotion in that?
I just think, there were so many momentum shifts during the game. And, to get a 0 coming back, I knew, firing the team up would be huge and getting that momentum our way and just, being able to rally around the teammates.